Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Got an interesting topic right here. We're going to talk about milk. Do you drink milk? I drink milk very infrequently. Although that's not true my whole life. I drank more milk when I was younger. And if you think about milk, and we talk about milk from a cow, of course, just so you know. And I have no idea if we're going to bring up milk from other animals like goats. But I know some people drink goat milk too, right? I don't know. And then there's the almond milk, which of course is not from an animal. But if you think about any milk from any animal, it's designed by God or by nature, however you want to look at it, as a food for the offspring of that animal. Which, if we're drinking cow's milks, we don't fit the description.
Right.
Doesn't mean I haven't liked milk. And in fact, I'll tell you the truth. I still like milk, like with cookies now and then. I hardly ever do this. But I will tell you where I drink milk, I guess, is when I eat ice cream. I really have ice cream a lot. And isn't that made from milk and milk byproducts? Alissa Hamilton has done a really good job researching our consumption of milk. She's an authority on food processing and marketing issues. She's written for major publications and academic journals. She's featured on a lot of big shows, so it's such an honor to have her on our show. She's been on Dr. Oz, ABC World News with Diane Sawyer, NPR, Martha Stewart Living. She's featured in The Guardian, The Atlantic, The Boston Globe, Wired. She helped spark a series of class action lawsuits against orange juice companies. Today's National Orange Juice Day, by the way. Her other book is called Squeeze, What You Don't Know About Orange Juice. This one is called Got Milked.
Yes.
The Great Dairy Deception and Why You'll Thrive Without Milk. Alissa Hamilton. Good morning, Alissa.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
Where are you right now? I'm
in Toronto. Far from here, although it is pretty warm here, actually.
It is?
Finally.
I've been to Toronto, years and years ago, but I found it to be a beautiful city.
I've been to Florida too. I spent quite a long time there studying orange juice, as you mentioned.
Oh, really? So we'll talk about that, I guess, later on, because you don't like that either, huh?
Nothing against your wonderful orange growers. It's the marketing that I was targeting.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. And is that the same with the milk? Is it the marketing or is it the milk itself?
Yeah, I mean, it's the marketing that I'm really after, because we have this imbalance in messaging. I think we've all come to believe that milk is an essential part of a healthy diet, and it simply is not. The definition, the USDA's definition of an essential nutrient is any dietary substance that is required for healthy body functioning, and plenty of bodies function, even thrive. Olympians such as former track star Carl Lewis, lots of people thrive without milk. So it's certainly
well, I basically do. I mean, if I needed milk to stay alive, I wouldn't be alive. But
that's right.
But I think in moderation. Well, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, I do have it.
Here's the thing. Here's a couple of issues. Milk is high in calcium, and of course, calcium is essential for healthy bone development. But so are many other nutrients, such as magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin K, that don't get the same spotlight. And we're told to get these other nutrients from a variety of sources, and yet the dairy food group is set up so that we virtually get all of our calcium from one food, and that's cow's milk. And that just doesn't make sense, because things are different now than they were when the recommendations were first set. They're different in terms of our nutrition knowledge, they're different in terms of the diseases we're suffering from, and they're different in terms of the demographics. And this is really key. Get these statistics. 50 to 80% of Hispanics, 60 to 80% of African Americans and Ashkenazi Jews, almost 100% of Asians and Native Americans can't digest the lactose in milk as adults. So we have this entire population, the majority of which can't digest milk, and it's irresponsible at this point to have government pushing 3 servings per dairy on all of us. So the sensible thing in my mind to do at this point is to eliminate the dairy food group and move dairy foods that are high in protein and low in added sugar into the protein group, where that's how the dairy industry advertises dairy these days anyways. And so exactly what you're saying in moderation. I'm not telling anybody that we need to eliminate dairy from everybody's diet. I'm only talking about eliminating it as a requirement, not an option. So if you enjoy dairy products, if you feel good eating them, fine. But there's also a growing body of research that's questioning some of the virtues of milk. So if after reading the book, either you don't feel good drinking or consuming dairy products because you're lactose intolerant or sensitive or allergic or for whatever reason, or else you're concerned about some of these studies, the book provides a bunch of recipes and meal plans to show how easy it is to get all the nutrients you need outside of food.
And that's the part of the book that I wanted to make sure we didn't leave out of this conversation, because I think the listeners will benefit from this. If your health is what's important to you, and that is a big part of this, then and you're lactose intolerant, or at least you suspect that your health would be improved if you stop. I mean, people will say everything from mucus to full-fledged diseases.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, if you cut that out, and I kind of have. I mean, I hardly drink milk. It's just, it tastes good with peanut butter and jelly. I like that too. But I mean,
and I would never deny anybody, to have a glass of milk with their cookies. I'm not telling anybody not to do that.
Okay, but I wanted to ask you something. First of all, the vitamin D does not occur naturally in milk, correct?
That's right. Milk is fortified with vitamin D.
Okay.
We're told that we should drink milk because of vitamin D, but many other foods now are fortified with vitamin D. You can get it through drops. Of course, sunshine is a great way, and fatty fish, sardines, canned salmon, all high. Another issue with the vitamin D, we're told to drink low-fat or consume low-fat, non-fat dairy products. Well, vitamin D is fat-soluble, so it doesn't seem the most sensible place to get your vitamin D in low-fat, fortifying low-fat, non-fat foods with a fat-soluble vitamin.
Right. Vitamin D comes from the sun. I know I'm not telling you anything, but the reason I'm bringing it up is
you get plenty of that there.
but we have a nudist place not too far from here that advertises, get your vitamin D here.
Exactly.
So I want to bring that up. But the calcium part of this, in the book you mention some vegetables that are natural sources of calcium.
High.
And tell me about them.
That's right. Well, so the calcium absorption rates actually in vegetables such as kale, broccoli, bok choy are all higher than calcium absorption of dairy, and I actually get that statistic from a National Dairy Council publication. So they recognize that. I think we tend to think that dairy products are the most bioavailable source of calcium, and that's simply not true.
Well, yeah.
And also there are plenty of other, who knew that 2 tablespoons of dried basil alone have almost the same amount of calcium as a cup of milk? It's just, I was in the store the other day and picked up a bag of bean sprouts, and I looked at the back, and just 1 cup, which is nothing. 1 cup of sprouts takes up a lot of space, so it's not a lot, and has 46% of your DV, which is 460 milligrams. Now, I've even talked about the calcium issue. Our calcium recommendations are higher than anywhere else in the world. They're double or more than the World Health Organization minimum of 500 milligrams per day. Ours are up to 1,300 milligrams. And there's some evidence now showing that these recommendations are inflated and potentially causing, there's been links to diets high in calcium to greater risk for prostate cancer. And even now, actually there was a study that came out in 2014 tracking 100,000
Alissa, are you there?
The biggest milk consumers. You want me to stop?
No. It's just that the phone went dead just for a second there. Okay, so I have a question, and we'll take. And
also a greater risk for bone fractures.
Okay, Alissa Hamilton is our guest. We need to take a little break, Alissa. We'll be right back.
The weather Weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine today, turning breezy with highs of 82 to 84. Then partly cloudy tonight, low 64 to 69. Intervals of clouds and sunshine tomorrow. An afternoon shower or thunderstorm around, high 79 to 83. Warm with a shower or thunderstorm Wednesday, high 85 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Heather Zayer.
Johnny, what are you doing in the bathroom? What are you saying? Wait, where are your toy cars? Oh no, tell me you didn't. Honey, call Mike Scott Plumbing.
I didn't do anything.
For once that's true, but little Johnny flushed his toys down the toilet and now it's broke.
Yes. Oh no. I'll get the phone. What's the toll-free number?
866-314-4443.
Got it. 866-314-4443.
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, they do it. At Mike Scott Plumbing, from the moment you walk through the doors, it's evident that quality is key. From our fully stocked parts department to our fully trained service technicians who can help with anything from a clogged drain to your irrigation system and even servicing your entire septic system. Visit one of our beautiful showrooms in Hernando or in Wildwood and let us show you how to turn your kitchen and bath dreams into reality. Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Kenny's Place Nursery offers horticulture training for the mentally handicapped, and that makes them beautiful people in my book. And those beautiful people have some beautiful plants and flowers on sale, like annuals in 4-inch pots for only $1 each, a 3-gallon bottle brush plant for only $8, Confederate jasmine, 3 gallons for $8. How about azaleas, 1 gallon for only $4.25, and a 2-gallon pot of knockout roses for only $17. Call 352-867-1213 for Kenny's Place Nursery.
Is your credit headed in the wrong direction? If so, Florida Credit Union can help turn it around. If the signs are reading missing payments, maxing out cards, or borrowing from financing companies, it's time to steer your credit to safety. Pull into a Florida Credit Union today and let us help you map out a personalized credit management plan. Get a free credit report analysis and advice to help you consolidate wisely. A better plan can get you to a better place. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, 18 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We're talking about milk, and specifically milk from cows. We're talking about it because we have a book. It's called Got Milked, The Great Dairy Deception and Why You'll Thrive Without Milk. Alissa Hamilton is the author of the book, and she's got credentials that are very impressive, and we're just honored to have her on the show with us. Up in Toronto, she said, right? Up in Toronto?
Right.
So, Alissa, I have a question for you. Is there a difference that is notable between the I guess the cows that we normally think of and then the what do you call the organic cows? Is there a difference?
Well, there's a difference in terms of the amount of time that they well, the first difference is the organic milk. From organic milk, the cows are not fed genetically modified soy and corn. For some people, that's an issue. There's also a grazing period that the cows must meet for the organic operations. Part of the problem with dairy operations with 1,000 cows or more are the ones that are growing in number. And if you go to places like California, the highest producer of dairy, in some districts, the groundwater is so contaminated that the kids can't even drink the tap water coming out of the taps because the manure from these dairy operations is seeping into the groundwater, contaminating it with nitrogen. So in a roundabout way, it actually becomes a justification for school milk programs because it's the only thing the kids can drink is milk and soft drinks. So it's a real problem in terms of in terms of the sustainability. We can't sustain, in fact, an entire all of North America 3 servings per day of dairy with the farming practices. We'll just end up with a lot of manure.
Okay.
I don't want to be more specific than that, but also part of this issue, not even the dairy industry disputes the fact that nobody needs milk to get all your essential nutrients. Their consistent response is that milk and dairy products are the most convenient and palatable source of calcium. And consumption trends say otherwise. Sales of milk are plummeting. I actually spoke to the director of the Office of School Nutrition for Detroit Public Schools. She was saying her kids are asking for water, and yet she doesn't have funding to give them water. She only has funding to give them milk. She doesn't have funding stations that they need so that they can have water when and where they want it.
Right,
if you go into these days, the garbage bins are filled with unopened cartons of milk.
Oh.
Wow. Usually when a person grows up, their body chemistry changes. I know my children, they would drink about 1.5 gallons of milk for 1.5 days. They would have drank 1.5 gallons of milk, and they had no problems growing up. And then when my son hit 30, then he was discovered he was lactose intolerant. Now he drinks the soy milk and the almond milk, and now he's absolutely fine. Do they still?
Well, and that's normal. It's funny thing is we call it lactose intolerant as if it's a disease, but he's normal. Mm-hmm. The ability to digest lactose in milk as an adult is abnormal. Lactase is the enzyme that allows us to break down the sugar in milk, and we produce it when we're young because we need it to break down the lactose in breast milk, and most mammals have lactose in their milk. But as we grow, we tend to lose that ability to produce the lactase, and he's in the majority of Americans who can't digest it as an adult, and so we should actually, I much prefer the term lactase impersistent or persistent. So those who can, I actually say that those who can digest milk as adults are the freaks of nature, because they're the descendants of a minority of mostly Northern European dairy farmers who had this genetic mutation that allowed them to continue to produce lactase as adults. And so they're the freaks, not the majority who can't digest it.
You have some menus in the book. Explain some of these things.
I'm being a little by the way about that.
What's that?
I don't really think anybody's a freak, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. I knew what you were saying.
I was hoping I was.
Yeah, no, right. Menus so that you can, because I don't think that people are aware how easy it is to get. And we're also told that we need to eat more fruits and vegetables. Most of us aren't eating our fruits and vegetables. Well, it turns out that those are really the highest sources of calcium and bone-building nutrients. So there's actually a recipe for kale salad that just this one big bowl of salad has almost 1,000 milligrams of calcium. So it's pretty extraordinary where you can, find calcium.
So
in the healthy foods that we should be eating more of anyways.
Right. So what about the things that milk is used in the recipe of, like chocolate? Is that, like, does somebody who has a candy bar, a chocolate bar, going to have a milk intolerance reaction?
Well, it depends on the person. I mean, some people are allergic, so casein actually is one of the most allergenic. Casein and whey are the two primary components of protein in milk, and they're also highly allergenic. And actually, allergies are growing, but milk is at the top of the priority list for allergens. So it's there's a sizable number of people who get serious anaphylactic reactions, so that they could actually die if they ate chocolate that had milk in it.
Wow.
It's really then lactose intolerance is a different issue.
And
lactose intolerance is the inability to digest the sugar. Allergies is an allergic reaction. It's an immune response to the protein in milk. So they're two very separate issues. And then there's a whole group of people who are sensitive to it, who, you know, that they may not be able to have a diagnosis, and, you know, if they go to their doctor, but they don't feel good eating it. And
right. So let me just
listen to your stomach. And
right. So a lot of us make our mind up that we understand what's going on with our own bodies. If we're not feeling well, we might experiment. We might stop drinking coffee. We might stop drinking soda. We might stop drinking milk or all dairy products, cheese, and everything. Now,
that's right.
Okay, so now without reading about it and just like doing an experiment, not saying that we are discovering something for the whole human race, but just for ourselves, let's say we discover that staying away from dairy products makes us feel a lot better. So now we're on this new lifestyle, and we become worried because we've believed the media that we need the things that are in milk. So now we go to the grocery store
and we do need the things that are in milk. My point is, you can get them.
Right, and that's right, and I think that's where I was going with what I was trying to say, because a lot of people might automatically go to like the vitamin counter and get pills to supplement themselves with vitamin D and calcium. But what you're saying is it's available in kale and in other vegetables.
And exactly. I thought, I didn't grow up drinking milk by the glass, and I thought, well, I better take a calcium supplement because I might not be getting my calcium. I bought into that too. And then after researching this, I discovered that my diet actually is really high in calcium, that I don't need to supplement. And that's always your best route first, is to try and get your nutrients from whole foods. And again, that's why the recipe, I do think the recipe section is key to the book, to also just show people how easy it is and to get all your nutrients outside of dairy products. But it does take some learning, because you may not be aware where those nutrients, what foods they're in.
Does powdered milk give a person the same reaction as milk in the liquid form?
Well, again, it depends on what your issue is. If you're allergic, yes, because it still will have the protein, the casein in the whey. If you're lactose intolerant, yes, unless it doesn't have lactose in it. So if you're sensitive, I mean, all of these issues, it really depends on what your problem is. But I also want to, I think that a lot of people are tired of hearing about, another dietary constraint, and, I've got to avoid this. And I just want to be clear that that's not my intention in writing this. But if you look, I actually was listening to an author, his name is David Sachs, of the Tastemakers, and he was talking about the food trends that he finds most harmful are the diet and health trends. And he used pomegranate juice as an example. I don't know if you remember, in 2011, everyone went crazy over pomegranate juice. Right. It was going to cure every disease under the sun. Well, substitute milk for pomegranate juice and calcium for antioxidants, and you have the oldest diet and health trend there is, and that is our fixation on milk. So my aim is not to handcuff us with another dietary constraint, but rather to liberate us from the clutches of the oldest diet and health trend there is, and that is milk. And it really can be harmful, because pediatricians actually are saying that the biggest nutritional problem they're finding in their clinics is kids who are iron deficient or anemic because they're drinking too much milk. And it's natural for parents to think that, because if you go to websites like the USDA's MyPlate, you'd think that milk is this wonder food, and so the more the better. And it's simply not, it can be harmful if you drink too much milk.
Alyssa, let me wrap it up, because we've got a minute left. I want to make sure we give the information so we can buy the book. First of all, I do have a copy of Alissa Hamilton's book. It's called Got Milk. If you want the copy that was sent to me, call me right now. We'll put your name on it. It'll be waiting for you here at the station. Alissa, give us a website. How do we get the book?
It's available online everywhere. It should be in your stores everywhere as well. Okay. HarperCollins is the publisher, so if you have a problem I urge you to contact them, and you can order it straight from them, but it's certainly on Amazon and hopefully at your corner bookstore.
All right, excellent. Alissa, you've given us so much information. Thank you for doing that. Obviously, a radio show doesn't give it all, so go to online or on your bookseller and get the book. It's called Got Milked. Alissa Hamilton. Thank you, Alissa.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right, we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Authorities in Garland, Texas, still looking into a shooting last night. 2 gunmen wounded a guard outside a cartoon drawing contest of the Prophet Muhammad before they were killed by police.
Of course, this is controversial because such drawings are deemed insulting to many followers of Islam.
Fox's Casey Stigl, the FBI searching a Phoenix apartment in connection with the case. The roster of GOP presidential hopefuls is growing. Ex-Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorina announcing her candidacy.
If you believe that it's time for citizens to stand up to the political class and say enough, then join us.
Former neurosurgeon Ben Carson also today announcing his intentions to run. Charlotte Elizabeth Diana. Officials say that's the name chosen for Britain's new princess, daughter of Prince William and wife Kate. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Overturned truck, freeway construction, rubberneckers slowing everything down. I travel for work.